I didn't buy the house. I inherited it from an uncle I never met. His name was Silas Graves. How's that for ominous? According to the letter from the lawyer, Silas was a recluse who lived in a remote Victorian manor in rural Maine. No wife, no kids, no real contact with the world for over 30 years. When he died, I was the only living relative listed. I had no interest in moving. I lived in a cramped one-bedroom in Brooklyn, sure, but it was mine, and it didn't creak like a dying animal at night. Still, the house was fully paid off, and curiosity has always been stronger than my common sense. So I packed a bag and rented a car, just to see it. Maybe sell it, maybe stay for a bit and fix it up. I told myself it would be like a retreat, a reset. God, if I'd known. The house was buried at the end of a long dirt road, choked with weeds and flanked by trees that looked like they'd been dead for decades, but were somehow still standing. The house itself was impressive, I guess. 3 stories, steep roof, crooked weather vane, Gothic windows, gray wood siding. It looked like something from a forgotten era, ornate and imposing, like it was watching me. From the moment I stepped out of the car, I felt it, pressure, like the air was thicker around the house, heavier. I brushed it off. Just nerves, I thought. Inside, it was dusty but preserved, furniture covered with white sheets, chandeliers dulled with grime, the wallpaper curled at the edges, and every floorboard groaned underfoot like it resented being walked on. I found Silas's study on the 2nd floor, a massive desk, walls lined with bookshelves, no computer, just piles of handwritten notes. Ramblings, really. One page caught my eye. It feeds on fear. Not blood, not flesh. Emotion, terror is its wine. It gorges on panic. And it remembers everyone, whoever screamed inside its walls. Okay, I thought. The old man was nuts. I should have left that night. But the next day was beautiful, and I convinced myself to stay a while. I cleaned up a little, got the old fireplace going, unpacked. That night, I made dinner and settled in to read. That's when the first thing happened. I heard footsteps upstairs, slow, deliberate, right above me. I froze. I hadn't been up to the attic yet. I listened, heart pounding. The steps stopped. I grabbed a flashlight and crept up the stairs, one hand gripping the banister so hard my knuckles turned white. The attic door was open. I swear I had closed it earlier. I climbed up and found nothing, just old trunks, furniture covered in more sheets. No signs of footprints, no signs of anyone. But I felt watched. When I turned to leave, the door slammed shut behind me. I nearly jumped out of my skin. I yanked it open, but there was no one there. No wind, no reason. I didn't sleep that night. Every creak, every whisper of wind outside made my skin crawl. The next morning, I found something odd in the hallway mirror. My reflection looked tired, haggard, more than just sleep deprivation, like something had taken a little piece of me. I told myself it was just stress. I stayed another day. That was the beginning of the descent. Over the next week, things escalated. I'd find objects moved, lights flickering, the sound of breathing when I was alone, whispers in the walls. Sometimes I'd see shapes in the corners of my eyes, too tall, too still. One night, I dreamt I was drowning in the house, literally submerged in its hallways, gasping for breath as portraits on the walls wept blood. I woke up screaming, sweat-drenched and shaking. When I looked at the bedroom door, it was open. I always kept it shut. I began reading Silas's journals. They were disturbing. He talked about the house like it was alive, not metaphorically, literally. He claimed it changed shape when no one was looking, that it fed off fear, that it would do anything to keep someone inside. It doesn't want you dead, one entry read. It wants you terrified. It wants you screaming. It drinks your sanity in sips. I laughed it off, trying to ground myself with logic. Then I started seeing her, a woman in black, standing at the end of the upstairs hallway. Pale face, sunken eyes, never moving, never speaking, just watching. She'd vanish if I approached, only to appear again the next night, always a little closer. I tried to leave. I packed a bag, got in the car, and drove. But the road didn't end. No matter how far I drove, I always came back to the house. The trees stretched endlessly in every direction. The GPS spun in circles. After 4 hours of driving, I was back in the driveway. The house was waiting. That night, the walls pulsed. I could hear them breathing. The whispers were louder now, not just unintelligible murmurs, words. Stay. We like your fear. He made us hungry. You will feed us. I found a crawl space behind the study, hidden by a false panel. Inside were dozens of photographs. People, all ages, all terrified, screaming, crying, hiding. Silas had documented them. Victims? Guests? No names. Just dates. The last photo was of me, from 2 nights ago, asleep, eyes barely open, mouth parted in a silent scream. That was the first time I tried to burn the place down. I poured gasoline everywhere, lit a match. The flames sparked, then vanished, snuffed out like a candle. The house laughed. I heard it laugh. It was in the walls, in the air, in my skin. I gave up, tried barricading myself in the bedroom. But the house didn't need doors to reach you. It bled into your dreams. It whispered when you blinked. It showed you things, impossible things. I saw my mother hanging from the chandelier, my ex crawling out of the floor, nails broken and eyes hollow. I saw myself, torn apart and stitched together, screaming as I was fed to the house. And through it all, it grew stronger. I felt it. The dread was thicker, the air heavier. My own mind began slipping. I couldn't remember how long I'd been there. Days? Weeks? There were no more clocks, no more sunlight, just endless night and endless dread. Until one day, it stopped. I woke up. The whispers gone. The house silent. The front door was open. A breeze drifted in. I stepped outside, trembling. The trees were normal. The road led somewhere. Birds chirped. I left. Drove until the gas tank was dry. Then hitchhiked the rest of the way back to the city. I didn't tell anyone what happened. Who would believe me? But I haven't slept since. Because I still hear it sometimes. In the silence between breaths. In the hum of the radiator. It whispers, "We remember." And I know it's waiting. Because that house, it's hungry, and I fed it well.